Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English News Edition brought to you live from RTD channel. The headlines for tonight are: the head of state Ismail Margile, on the occasion of the National Day in Ethiopia, sent a message of congratulations to his Ethiopian counterpart. And on the latest world news, France hosts international conference on Libya in Paris. Those were tonight's top stories. Let's get into the details now. On the occasion of the National Day celebration in Ethiopia, the head of state Ismail Margile sent today a message of congratulations to the President of Democratic and Federal Republic of Ethiopia, Mulatu Teshome, whose country celebrates the anniversary of its National Day. In his message, the head of state expressed wishes of health and happiness to Mulatu Teshome, as well as more progress, development and prosperity to the Ethiopian brother and friend, and sincerely hope that the Ethiopian sister nation will continue the largely realized work of its self-fulfillment and outreach, wrote President Gile. We are delighted by the strategic partnership between our two countries in almost all key sectors, said the Djiboutian head of state. We will never stop working to strengthen ties of friendship and cooperation woven throughout history between our two nations, said President Ismail Margile. The head of state also declared proud that the Republic of Djibouti and Ethiopia have acquired the status of model of economic integration in this part of the world. It should be noted also that a similar message was also sent to the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali. And on the occasion, the Ethiopian Embassy in Djibouti organized last night at Kempinski Palace Hotel a grand reception for the 27th anniversary of the National Day. Ethiopia's ambassador to Djibouti, Shemengo Abobo, along with his wife and his diplomatic staff, welcome all the guests. This national holiday is celebrated on May 28th of each year to mark the overthrow of the military dictatorship of Derg in 1991, known as the Provisional Government of Socialist Ethiopia, known as Derg. This regime overthrow came under the leadership of the APRDF, or the Democratic and Revolutionary Front of the Ethiopian people. Since a democratic and federal system has been established, all rights of the different Ethiopian communities are respected. The colorful reception ceremony brought together a large number of Djiboutian as well foreign officials, diplomats, including the Dean, the Ambassador of Palestine, the representative of the United Nations, senior officials, senior officers of the Djiboutian army, as well as foreign forces. The Ethiopian community living in Djibouti has participated massively at this reception of the Ethiopian National Day. This symbolizes the transformation of Ethiopia, which for a number of years has recorded a strong economic growth, a rate estimated at 10.9% in 2017. The two neighboring countries and France, Djibouti and Ethiopia, have also subscribed to make the regional economic integration an exemplary model. This action was undertaken thanks to the political will of the two leaders, namely President Ismail Margile and the former Ethiopian Prime Minister, the late Meles Zenawi. The Ethiopia's ambassador in the Republic of Djibouti, Shemengo Abibo, gave a speech on the occasion. He did not fail to highlight the achievement of his country and the excellent relation between Djibouti and Ethiopia, a giant of the African country by its size, its economic potential, as well as its population. Let's hear it more from the Ethiopia's ambassador.
It is with great pleasure and honor that I am welcoming you all to this special occasion of the 27th anniversary of the downfall of Derg regime through the protracted struggle of the Ethiopian peoples led by the Ethiopian People Revolutionary Democratic Front, EPRF, and the establishment of the federal democracy system in Ethiopia. His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, has paid his first official visit to the Republic of Djibouti to showcase the strong bilateral relationship and strategic partnership of our two sisterly countries. The official visit of the Premier further cemented the existing excellent bilateral relationship and has also identified those sectors whereby further cooperation will be made. The strides being undertaken by the two countries in strengthening their multifaceted development endeavors will undoubtedly deepen the economic integration process. Ethiopia's vision is to have a mutual benefit and cooperation, in short, creating a win-win situation so that every party will be a winner and not be a loser. እንኳን ለግንቦት 20 አደረሳችሁ። ሰላም፣ ብልጽግና፣ የሀገራችን አንድነት፣ የምትኮሯት አገር፣ የምትወዷት አገር፣ ለሁሉም እናት የሆነች አገር ሰላሟን፣ ልማቷን፣ ሁሉን ነገር እንድትጠብቁና በዚሁ እንድትቀጥሉ አደራዬን አስተላልፋለሁ። ኩራት ይሰማኛል በእናንተ። አመሰግናለሁ።
As well, several senior Djiboutian officials took part at the ceremony of the 27th anniversary of the Ethiopian National Day. The representative of the government of Djibouti, the Secretary General of the Foreign Affairs Ministry, Mohammed Ali Hassan, did not fail to wish a happy feast to all Ethiopians in Djibouti as well in Ethiopia. He added that the two countries that have linked by strong ties for a long time. He did not fail to congratulate the Ethiopian ambassador to Djibouti, Shemengo Abebo, who spared no effort to strengthen the friendly as well fraternal relation between the two countries. He promised then the support of the Djiboutian government to continue his mission of strengthening the already privileged relation that exists between the two countries, brothers as well friends. And still with the national news, after Ali Sabih and Dekhil, the Minister of Decentralization Hamadou Mohamed Aramis was yesterday afternoon in Arta to see the smooth running of the fundamental studies examination. The Ministry of Education has fully decentralized throughout the national territory. He was accompanied by a MEFOP delegation and officials from his department, welcomed by the prefect of the Arta region, Abdullah Idrar Uki, and the regional authorities. The minister and his delegation went to the different test rooms under the sign of decentralization and inclusion, since the candidates of the regions like Arta no longer needs to travel to the capital to pass the test and to know the results. These exams is a strong symbol of cooperation between the two Department of Education and decentralization to participate in the decentralization process, which aims to bring the administration closer to the administrators. An important agreement on the collective convention of establishment was initialed yesterday between the Association of the Student Parents and the Union of the Staff of the French Lycée de Djibouti. And this, let's recall, in the presence of Inspector General of Labor, Abdi Farah Idle. The ceremony saw the participation of the heads of the Human Resources Commission of the known as APE, the headmaster of the French high school, as well as the leaders of the union. The Labor Inspectorate has a number of tasks to be performed in the context of the employment relationship. These include to ensure the application of legal provision related to working conditions and to ensure the protection of workers and the exercise of their profession, to provide also information and technical advice to employers and workers on the most effective means of complying with the provision of labor legislation, and finally to carry out the studies and inquiries which are asked to perform. The CNSS head office hosted today a ceremony to sign two agreements between the CNSS and the tax union on the one hand, and the butchers union on the other. The purpose of this agreement is to allow butchers and taxi owners to enter the universal health insurance system. The first agreement was signed between the Chief Executive Officer of the CNSS, Hassan Robli Absiye, and the President of the Taxi Union, Ali Yunis Sugal. Then the Director General of the CNSS initialed the second agreement with the representative of the Union of Butchers, Abdullahi Ahmed. They followed the instruction given by the head of state, Ismail Magili, during the World Health Day to accelerate the process of integration of professional trades to universal health insurance, pointing out the Director General of the CNSS, adding that the self-employed worker enjoy the same rights as contract workers or civil servants with regard to medical care within the framework of universal health insurance. The National Institute of Public Administration hosted yesterday a ceremony of completion of training certificates and distributed to participants who had followed this training. The training was facilitated by a national expert in administrative management, Ali Mohammed Kamil. The training module focused on the evaluation and administrative follow-up for the various bodies of the public administration during 4 days. For this training, the Director of the National Institute of Public Administration, Sharmake Idris, the Director of the Financial Resources of the Ministry of Budget were present. And after the interventions of the officials on the usefulness of this training, certificates of attestation were delivered to the different participants. The third day of the 19th edition of the Quran Original Memory Contest, called the Grand Prize of the Head of State, continued at the People Palace. In addition to Djibouti, a dozen countries in the region, including Somalia, Sudan, Uganda, Kenya, Yemen, Comoros, as well as Tanzania, are taking part in this contest. On the third day of the competition, participants competed to memorize 10 chapters. Extraordinary voices and perfect psalmody are what the young representative of this nation offered to the members of the jury during their stay. Candidates from different countries will compete on 3 levels of memorization on the 10 chapters, 20 chapters, where the entire 30 chapters make up the Quran. It should be noted that the contest, which is now in its 19th edition, has gained a regional notoriety and is attracting more and more participants from young people in East African countries. This contest, initiated in 1999 by the Djibouti head of state Ismail Omar Guelleh, aims to encourage young Muslims to better assimilate the Holy Quran. As every year, the winners of different categories will receive from the hands of the Djiboutian head of state several awards. The City Hall of Djibouti has organized last night, in close collaboration with the Turkish Coordination and Cooperation Agency known as TICA and the foundation of Diwan al-Zakat, a collective iftar for 500 people. This ceremony saw the participation of the Mayor of Djibouti City, Mrs. Fatuma Awali Osman, and the Ambassador of Turkey, the General Director of Diwan al-Zakat, Suleiman Hussein Musa. And after the iftar ceremony, clothes were distributed for the orphans children of Djibouti. Nearly 2,000 orphans benefited from clothing for the Eid al-Fitr. This initiative is part of a government program that aims to improve the living condition of poor as well as poor families. And during her interventions, the Mayor of Djibouti City, Fatuma Awali Osman, on this occasion did not fail to thank TICA and the Diwan al-Zakat Foundation for this generous initiative. She emphasized that this initiative is part of a social solidarity efforts for orphan children. The Mayor of Djibouti City then reported that nearly 2,000 orphan children have received clothing for the Eid al-Fitr occasion. And still in social, the distribution of food and non-food aid to households affected by the flood, continuing the 3 weekends of the State Secretariat in charge of social affairs. Let's recall that these households have benefited from 3 batches of equipment consisting of a batch of dry food, a batch of kitchen utensils, a batch of household equipment consisting of mattress, sheet, and blankets. Our team were able to follow today 2 beneficiaries of these aids, namely Aida Mohammed and Maysoum, from the neighborhood of Anglais in the various stages of the distribution process of this aid. The 2 ladies did not fail to thank in turn the good Lord, the President of the Republic, the First Lady as well, the State Secretary for Social Affairs for their tireless and unwavering support following the natural disaster they have been victims. In sport files now, the Djiboutian Table Tennis Federation has organized last night the closing ceremony of the 11th edition of the Djibouti Cup of Table Tennis Tournament. This tournament of the Djibouti Cup saw the participation of 30 young players who divided themselves into 8 groups, and the first place was won by Jamal Ahmed of the RTD team, which won for the 2nd year in a row the Djibouti Cup Table Tennis. The closing ceremony of this 11th edition of the Djibouti Cup of Table Tennis Tournament was chaired by the President of the Djibouti Table Tennis Federation, Mohamed Omar, in the presence of all the leaders of these federations. And to finish the national news, let's go in the north of the country. And as part of the social solidarity programs during the blessed month of Ramadan, the Al-Wahma Complex for Development in Djibouti yesterday distributed food to 355 Yemeni refugees families in the Morkazi camp in the Ubukh region. The distribution ceremony took place in the presence of the administrative director of the African Relief Committee, which represents the NGO of Al-Wahma International in Djibouti, Khaled Abu Harak, and project manager Ilmi Tahir Yusuf. The director of the Al-Wahma complex in Ubukh, Hamdi Ragab Sayyid, as well as representative of the National Office for Assistance to Refugees and Disaster, as well as Yemeni refugees, also attended the ceremony. The representative of the recipient of this food support expressed their thanks to the regional office for the international of Al-Wahma NGOs of the state of Kuwait and Djibouti for taking this initiative, which will alleviate the suffering of the refugees who fled the war in Yemen. And on the latest news, rival Libyan leaders meeting in Paris on Tuesday tentatively agreed on a roadmap leading to parliamentary as well as presidential election on December 10 in Libya, but the plan faces major obstacles in the North African country, where rival authorities rely on an era of unruly militia. In an early sign of trouble, the Libyan leaders declined to sign a closing declaration outlining their commitment, which includes laying the groundwork for the vote with new electoral laws and establishing a constitutional basis by mid-September. French President Emmanuel Macron, who hosted the conference, nevertheless lauded the 8-point declaration as a crucial step towards stabilizing the country, which was plunged into chaos since 2011. So that's it for the news. Thanks for being with us on RTD channel.